What's going on, everyone? How's it going this week? Today, we've got to talk about the newest episode of More Than a Married Couple, but Less Than Lovers. It was a pretty damn good episode this week. We kind of got pretty much what I expected to get from this week, but it was bittersweet and amazing. So let's just jump into it. We start off this episode with Shirori and Jiro kind of building a sandcastle leading off from where we left off last week. And Shirori goes essentially along the lines of, yeah, remember when we were kids and we'd build sandcastles together and we'd make them almost like a tunnel into the middle and like hold hands at the end. And of course, Jiro's like, oh, yeah, I do. Like a little bitch boy, because that's what he is. But so after that's all said and done, we get this scene with, of course, Kamo's like, look, these girls are in swimsuits. We never get to see this right now. Do not kill the moment. And he thinks about it and he's like, you know what? Kamo's actually right for once. Like, we pretty much just see VR and 3D modeled tits, and that's probably what we're going to see. So we should probably take advantage of this. So they do it for a little bit longer, not too much longer, and they kind of move on from there, which leads us to the intro card. And then right after that, we get to see these pairings that are going around, just kind of to go out. And obviously, Jiro and Akare pair up together because that's how it goes. And of course, Jiro's just like, oh god, because Mr. Infuriating's like, oh my gosh, what do people, see us and all that shit. And of course, Akare's like, come on, just accept it. Let's move on. So they're going out to get some takoyaki or some food, I think. I can't, whatever the hell they're getting. I'm not specifically sure. I can't remember. But they go there, and it's couples days, so the couples get 20% off of the meals, of course. So they do that. They get their things upgraded to a large. He's waiting. He's going to go pick up the food. And Akare is getting hit on by these two really creepy, weird dudes. And it's very obvious that she's finding it awkward and weird. So he comes up, and, obviously he's retarded or stupid. And goes like, do you know these guys? And it's like, well, obviously she does not know these guys. So just do something about it. So he comes up and says, that's my wife, And she kind of brings up the point where it's like, dude, you need to stop apologizing for everything. My heart's racing. You did something awesome, and you're really ruining the moment. Which tends to be a really big theme this episode of Jiro ruining the moment for, like, everything. And, what's new. And so we move back. They're at the not the hotel, but the cabin, I guess. And the females are all taking baths. And right now they're kind of just talking about men and the relationships they want. And of course, the two girls are in there together. Akare and Shirori. Everyone's in the tub. And it's gotta be really awkward because these two obviously like the same guy. And one of them is obvious because, I mean, for Jiro, it's not obvious. But for everybody else, of course, Shirori clearly likes him. Akare likes him. Akare knows that he likes her, but she doesn't tell Jiro that she likes him. So it's this whole fiasco going on, and it's like, oh man, just the whole time you're just telling Akare to fucking say something. So we get to the hallway, and he's kind of chilling out there, and she's trying to tickle him and talk to him and kind of, get closer to him because she's been missing the amount of time they get together, like recharging a battery, which is really cute. Until, of course, you gotta have the killjoys. Sachi comes out, old frickin' Sachi, and ruins the moment. So Jiro's kind of like trigger shy and goes, oh, and he calls her by her last name instead of her first name, and that really pisses her off. But he buys Sachi a cola and Akari an apple juice because that's what she wants, and she's pissed because he kind of acts like an asshole when he's around other people with her, and it's obviously just rude. And then it's like, come on, dude, pick something up. So she gets around the corner and texts him and is like, meet me by the beach house in 10 minutes. I will not accept no as an answer. And she gives him this glare, this 10-mile stare, and he clearly has it coming. And I love it. She looks around that corner and goes, you're coming. And he's just like, yes, I am. So we kind of go back to the beach house flashback, and everybody's like, the chicks are like, oh, where's Akari? I don't know. She wanted to go to the grocery store. And of course, where's Jiro? I don't know. He went for a walk. And Shiori's kind of like, oh, great. These two are out together. So, well, she's kind of, overthinking everything, which she should be, because screw her. Mai goes, hey, you want to go for a walk, clear your mind off of stuff? So they do. We go to the beach, and Akari's there in her swimsuit that was exclusively for Jiro, and it is hot. Like, oh my gosh. And the fact that she only wears it for him is amazing, because he's just a dunce. So the fact that she saves it for him is a freaking killer. You can kind of tell he is falling for her, and she finally comes to the point where she's like, look. She doesn't come out and frontally say it, which really pisses me off, but from the title card for the next episode, I got a feeling we're going to find out. But she goes, look at me. All you ever do is stare at my chest. Just look at me. So he's looking, he's getting turned on, and she's getting really confused. He's like, you're jealous, you want me to look with you and everything else. And so he's like, do you like me? And of course, she freaking does I was just teasing you. And he's like, well, stop teasing me. So then Shiori and Mai are around the corner, so they run into this shack, and they're really close together, and they're kind of, bickering, getting really hot and sweaty, and he's dripping all over her, and it's like, she's like, what are you doing? Because they have to get really close, and he gets a boner, and it's like getting right next to her, because she's like, what's this? Get your knee off of me. He's like, that's not my knee. So, she's like, oh my god, there's more steps in this. But he ends up passing out from heat stroke. Akari gets some friends to carry him out, and we get back to the motel, and they kind of have this moment where they're like, look, they kind of almost get in a slight fight, but she wants him to look at her like a person, not just for her body. And ma'am, let's get down to that brass tacks. These two, she needs to tell him that she loves him before it is too late. Which, we got 2 episodes left. I know what's going to happen, but dang, they are dragging this out, and they're doing a fantastic job at it. So far, this has been one of the most suspenseful things for me this whole season. And it's a freaking romance. It's not even an action or a fantasy. It's a romance. And it's great. I'm very excited to see where this goes, especially the fact that by the end of this episode, we've gotten to the point now where they're close. They're finally admitting things to each other. Not exactly what I want them to, but it's getting there. And I'm really excited to see the next 2 episodes and finish this off. But yeah, that's pretty much all that really happened this episode. Like I said, the fan service was definitely still there. It's the latter episodes have been very higher in the fan service. They all have been, but this one seem to be a little more lenient in that direction. We didn't get too much of the outside characters, mostly just the main 2, and that's fine with me. I think we need to focus on them more before we get into the nitty-gritty ending where somebody's gonna get their heart broken. But I got a feeling Shiroi's gonna end up with Blondie. Anyways, for some odd reason, I don't know why, but I just got a feeling either that or she's gonna be alone and cry and die. Who knows? I'm no genius. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about this episode. Thanks for sticking around. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.